Welcome back to the Foundation. This is Swaytoven, and in one of my previous videos, someone commented that they were looking for tips for getting into making music without any knowledge. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you tips, but I think it's important to understand that I'm not going to be giving you any technique. There's a reason why that I don't want to give any technique. It's because technique is something that you have to copy over and over again in order to get better at something. And that's what a lot of YouTube producers, I believe, show. It's a lot of techniques, and it's just like they'll preach music theory and stuff like that. But if you just keep copying the same stuff, you'll never actually be able to like get any better, in my opinion. So it's just that's just my opinion. Tips are something that when you are on your musical journey and you come across certain things that I say, I would hope that you just keep this stuff in the back of your mind, because it's the stuff that would have been useful when I started getting into certain things in my musical journey. And it's important to understand that you're not going to learn everything in one night, obviously. Things are going to come to you naturally in terms of like what you want to learn. You're going to see a lot of things and you're going to want to play around with a lot of things. And if you do that, that's fine. But then when push comes to shove, and it's actually time to understand what that does, if you are playing around with a lot of things while still slowly progressing, you're gonna like know what it does kind of automatically. What I'm saying by that is that you kind of know how music should sound, right? I'm not saying you know how to make music, but we are musical creatures. But you know how it should sound. You know what I'm saying? We've listened to it all your life. So when you understand now what a compressor does, and you say, oh, okay, well, right, what a limiter might do, or just certain things, equalize, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be like, okay, now I understand now. So it's just like, it's going to come to you. Also, I want to appreciate the subscribers I've been getting recently. I wasn't suspecting to go over 100 before the beginning of this year, but I have, so that's pretty awesome. Going back to music, and it's just a translation, all right, of what you have to say, so to speak, right? And I wish I could just open up like a something right here to like it's not a crazy arrangement, but it's a translation. You already know how to speak English, and our language is the English alphabet: A, B, C, D, E, F, G. The musical scale just starts with C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So it's just like, if I didn't say that, but it's just like, there you go, and it's not like you have to like really think about it too hard, but so just think in the back of your mind, understand you're just translating what you want to say, telling a story, all right? And that story can be told through arranging something. And now this doesn't really look that interesting. There's actually cool ways to arrange things, through color coding and stuff like that. But I might as well just have something up on here. But yeah, and you don't even need to know how to put these notes down for you to like still make something sound beautiful. We've actually in this time period where a lot of people have made plugins, so don't be worried about not knowing how to make a chord or a melody, because there's things that can do it for you. So that music is a language. It's that translation. I think it's important to understand, your purpose in music. All right. And what I mean by that is, I guess, why are you making music? And I think when it's easier to understand why you're making music, you'll understand what type of music you can make. All right. So it's just like, whereas there's a lot of versatility, there's so much type, you know what I'm saying? We'll get to inspiring sounds in a bit, but it's just like, maybe there's something that, like I'm saying, comes from you, right? And I can get into this, this philosophy that I have of music, us being, musical creatures, but it's just like we're part of this universe, There's universe, uni being one, and verse. There's verses in music, right? This grand song, that all started with this bang, and it's just like, what frequency are you vibrating? What notes are you playing? You feel me? I believe we have this intuitive nature of music, so it's just like, also, if you hum and stuff like that, just once you learn what the notes are, it'll come. We're surrounded by it, so just don't stress about it. Just have fun with music, because if you stress about it, you'll just keep worrying about things that aren't that serious, honestly, and you'll just lose sight of the purpose in the first place, in my opinion. Now I'm gonna get to other tips, right? I'm just trying to ease into certain things, I guess. I've tried to record this video multiple times, but I just always thought that I was never hitting the mark with what I was saying. But I kind of have some notes because, let me see. And I'm going back to like if you let so like here's the thing. This has something to do with like you not knowing if people don't know how to do anything, right? Make the stuff that you see right here. There are plugins, like I said. There's one called Spawn. I'm not promoting anything, but the reason why I'm showing you this is because there's different ways to do this. And this is what it looks like. It costs money. I'm not gonna tell you how much it costs. You can look it up yourself. I got it at the introductory price. But the thing is that it's probably worth it for people who don't know how to do it. So that's why it probably costs how much it costs. It's not crazy, but it could be to some people, I suppose. But it's just like there's a lot of things in place. And I was gonna say some other things, but going back to inspiration, I suppose we're just gonna start with inspiration. Don't constantly look for inspiration, right? Don't be that person that think that inspiration will come to you. I said something about techniques and not following techniques and stuff like that. The thing is, I used to play the piano and the violin when I was younger, so there is theory, there's techniques, and I had books like there was a theory book, there was a technique book, and a practice book where we actually play the songs. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, like I wouldn't constantly look for techniques. You have to understand some fundamentals, of course, right? But it's just like, if you're looking for inspiration all the time, sometimes you won't find it. Sometimes you have to build inspiration. You know what I'm looking. So like, if you think you have beat block or melody block or something like that, you have to keep going. All right. And that takes me to my other thing. And remember, you have to build inspiration. It's because it's like you're trying to inspire. So always keep that in mind. You're not trying to be inspired. You're the inspired. This is where it starts, the nitty gritty. You feel me? And it's just like, I would say take breaks. There's nothing wrong with taking breaks. Don't rush, okay? You know, I remember at the start, I would try to make something every day, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. I'm not even going to say that, eventually you're going to, eventually get tired of it. Eventually you get bored. Like, it depends how you think, right? Understand that you're not going to see progress instantly. You feel me? But if you are rushing every single time, you might not see any progress at all because you're going to be copying every single time because you think something's working. So take your time as well. Because, like I said, everything's going to come to you as well. Especially when you try to do something new in every project. All right? So, like, there you go. One project you can work on a melody. One project you can work on a minor melody, major melody, this, that. As long as you keep trying to up the ante to get better. What I mean by that, let's say we're like lifting weights, right? Maybe I'll increase the weight by 1 pound every single time and hopefully get stronger. And also, a tip that I would say is try to do it when you wake up. Just wake up in the morning, wake up from a nap if you can, and just work on something. I believe that's when the mind's the most fresh, even though your body might feel tired, you might feel groggy. Once you open your mind, your eyes, once you wake up, that energy is going to flow straight into something like this. You know what I'm saying? And you're just not going to flow into going to work or something like that. I don't know what you guys do or anything, but it's just like you're going to feel that connection with music. You're going to be on that frequency. Like I said, you're going to be that mindset right there. So when it comes to something like this, though, right, I think a lot of people get locked into these loops. Right now, so you understand, you already know a lot about music because fundamentally it's just counting at the start, counting to 4. All right, that 4 can go to 8, right? Because there's 8 bars, right? It goes to 8 right here, right? And a lot of people stop at 8. So like, just take for example like this block right here. This is going up to like 4. This is going up to 8. A lot of people like to repeat things over and over. So I'm not going to tell you how to make this chords or whatever like that. What I'm going to tell you to do is think longer. Don't even think in 8-bar progressions, okay? Think about in 16 maybe. Because is your story only this short? Is this all you have to say? Maybe you have to say something that's much longer, right? Think about the artists themselves actually saying something over the whole beat, right? When you're trying to make music, so something that I like to change up throughout the arrangement to tell the story might be the guitars, right? This is the same repeating guitar melody, but that's one way to try to like think a little bit longer than just repeating things over and over again, right? Now there's some things I need to repeat over and over again, like the drums. That's another tip that I'd say. Work on drums. Drums are very important. You're trying to make a beat, okay? Believe it or not, for the beat to be a beat, it needs drums, okay? Now, you're gonna watch a lot of other YouTube videos that are not mine, so it's just like, just watch drum videos, okay? Pretty much. Those are things you can copy, right? The drums. Just don't do the same drums every single time. I'd say also, while working on how to understand hi-hats, kicks, and 808s, try to understand percussions too, to get textures, right? While you're trying to understand these drums, try to learn how to mix at the same time. Okay, I know I'm putting a lot, saying everything's going to come slowly, but you want everything to sound good too, right? When I first started doing this, I knew I wanted things to sound good. I kind of had a it kind of was easy to me to make the beat and stuff like that because I felt like, or maybe because I had a musical background, so I can't really say that, but it was just like, it's important for the stuff to sound good. All my stuff sounds good on AirPods, in these small monitors. I listened it to a van today, bigger speakers, low end was absolutely overpowering the melodies, these beautiful melodies. It sounded terrible. So it's just like, also don't go for these loud punching drums all the time because if, let's say, you did have a popular crazy beat, someone put it on some big speakers, you won't be able to. It'd be sounding terrible. So, just you don't need loud, super loud drums, because when you get to that part of your journey, you just keep this in the back of your mind. All right, and chords, like I said, you're gonna want to learn about chords, progressions. Okay, you want things to progress. I understand there's going to be loops and samples. You're going to have a lot of YouTube producers telling you to just keep repeating the same chords over and over again because it's really easy and simple to make. Right. That's how you get stuck into a formula, a technique, while they're the ones doing everything that makes them better. You know what I'm saying? Like, progressions, change, evolution. All right. But when you're starting, if you don't decide to buy the generators that can make things for you, like Spawn, okay, like this, let's just spawn a melody in. That sounds terrible. There's just a reason why I don't like that plugin, dude. There's some cool things that come out of it, but I'm just saying you don't have to worry about not knowing how to do a lot of the stuff that I'm saying if you decide to cheat. That's what I'm going to tell you. You know what I mean? And the thing is this right here. You don't have to do this stuff from scratch that I like to do. You can just, you can get something like this right here called Splice. And basically just drag and drop samples. You know what I'm saying? You can get samples online, drag and drop them, line them up and stuff like that. And you can learn about that. That's called sampling, right? But like I'm saying, it's important for it to sound good, right? That's why I brought up the 808s and how you don't want them to like be so crazy, right? That's called mixing. That's why I said mixing is important. And listen, you might not be good at making melodies. You might not be good at making drums. You might be good at mixing, right? You might be good at one of them, or you might be good at two of them, except for three, right? You might be good at everything that has to do with music. You just have to find your niche. I should have said that way early in the video. But like, don't get discouraged, basically, at the end of the day. So it's just like, let's see what else I gotta say. I just feel like these tips aren't that great. I'd focus on my opinion, on creating an atmosphere. I would think of it as, yes, you're trying to create a beat, but I'd say create an atmosphere. Now, don't go online on YouTube and look up how to make an atmospheric beat. You can, I suppose, all right? But like I said, where you want to inspire, that atmosphere is something that things can thrive in, like certain sounds. you're gonna understand what I'm saying eventually. You want the artist to thrive in that beat. You want melody to thrive in this atmosphere, right? And a good way to set atmosphere, I guess, could go back to chords, right? Or just important sound selection in general. And that's very important, sound selection. I can't believe how it's nearing the end of this video because I'm running out of things to say. Sound selection should have been way. Listen, the YouTube channel is called The Soundation. It's crazy how I didn't say anything about sound selection. Right? Sound selection is important. That's why I said that plugin was garbage. It's because I didn't really. This is what this sounds like, by the way. I guess. To me, that doesn't sound too good because we just came straight into where the lead was playing. We didn't really lead up to anything. And that's something that's important. Like when you're telling your story, right? Usually when you're telling a story, this is something I should have said earlier when I was talking about telling that story. This is why I'm bad at making these type of videos. Is that you don't go straight into the climax of the story. You know what I'm saying? You lead up to the story. So it's just like, imagine this. Psh, psh. Imagine this was the song right here, right? This little triangle. How about we just scoot over a little bit? Right? Screw that too. You know what I'm saying? And that this was the song right here, right? You see how we would lead up, and there'd be that lead, and then you know what would this sound like? Dude, I'm actually curious. Wait, that'd be like a crazy way to. So I like to envision arrangement and stuff differently. Now I'm just thinking a crazy way to envision your stuff. Oh, now I'm overdoing it. My bad, guys. Anyway, those might not be the best tips at all, ever in the world, but I tried.